Hello, hello. Welcome back to another week of Launch Coast Football. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea.
and Mike McCarthy is my head coach. Anyway, going on beyond that, yeah,
Mike McCarthy is not my head coach, which might be more exciting.
no, we're going to talk about the championship game, so let's just rip this Band-Aid off. Last episode, I talked about why I went to a very great detail why Mike McCarthy should not be the Steelers head coach. And then I remember a few days after that episode was recorded, my fantasy group chat told me Sean McDermott got hired as the Steelers head coach. I was
That's
like,
an
oh,
L, dude.
I said, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm not happy, but I'm not mad about the hire. Then I realized my group chat was basing on false information. Like, okay, I guess this coaching search is going still happening, still have
You
time.
got baited, bro.
And then like a day, I don't even think it was even a day later. I think later that evening, it was like, no, Mike McCarthy's your coach. I'm like, okay, so this whole situation was just useless. Then this whole thing was just stupid. What was the?
I agree.
I can only assume. Just none of these star coordinators wanted to deal with the junk the Steelers have to deal with right now. That's the reason they just turned down jobs.
Can I say a note on the Steelers team right now? You know who's got to be kicking himself right now? DK Metcalf, who wanted to play for a contender.
You kind of got.
Yikes.
I said you get traded. You can't do anything about being traded. But yeah, oh yeah, good.
How the turntables.
How did? Oh man.
Woo!
Well, you know what? He's about to marry no money, so he wins at life. There we go. He's about to marry one of the most beautiful women in R&B, so he wins. Oh my goodness! Just when I heard the news, I just like, okay, this is just. I told my siblings because both my entire family is Yankee fans. I said, "We're you. The Steelers are the Yankees. We're
That's
just
true.
we're just happy of just being decent. We have one or two generational stars, and no matter what, we're not going to make take the big swing at
And
like
historical wins. You are a historically great
yeah,
franchise.
yeah, we're historically great franchises, and after the main architect passed away, now we're just going to like we're just happy being there, just existing. And I don't even think that even true all the way, because at least the Yankees took a big swing with Juan Soto going to baseball chat for a little bit. That was a big swing. You just messed up by not re-signing him.
Right.
But the Steelers, it was just like our big swing is DK Metcalf, cool, a B receiver, and
Who I would argue is probably not even a bona fide wide receiver one at this point, based on his past performances over the past couple of years.
like that's our big swing. Our big swings. That is getting Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Rodgers kind of past their primes at this. Or not even Rodgers is well past his prime. Ramsey's at the tail end of his prime, going to like the second stage of his career. I said, I did say before he was going to convert to safety because he can't be a cornerback anymore. He became a safety, which I think that's just going to be his. That's the perfect position for him at this point. But at no point, this was the most ridiculous Steelers hire. We just got Mike Tomlin, but slightly older, less melanin, and about 20, 30 pounds heavier. That
Less melanin, lol.
that's
Bruh.
just all we have. It's the same thing. They don't want to rebuild. And the thing is, they're gonna be forced to rebuild. Because guess what? You're in the division with the Baltimore Ravens. You're in the division with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns at this point beat you this year with Shedeur Sanders. And do you do
That's
you
embarrassing true.
do you really think you're gonna be able to compete at all for like any kind of 500 record next year when you have a first place schedule? You were the number one, you won the division. So guess what? You get the toughest opponents now. So I looked at the McCartney hire. I said, this is just humiliating because you're not even treading water at this point. It's like watching a slow moving car crash. You're not treading on water. It's just getting worse and worse after each year. Like the past few years, they just gotten a worse and worse team. I think just basically Rodgers kind of put a slight band on it just because the passing game and the offense looked somewhat decent.
Yeah,
I don't like my
I
team right
agree.
now. I don't like my team right now. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Definitely a disappointing hire, especially with some of the promising offensive
And
young
defensive coordinator.
minds out there, like Chris Shula, for instance. You have Cliff Kubiak. I think that's his name. I think his name is Cliff. So you definitely have like some prominent. I mean, I know that you wouldn't want to hire McDaniel as a head coach, but
I actually wouldn't mind McDaniel. I
As
think
an OC at least, I mean, you had some pretty promising young minds out there that are offensive minded, and you went with
like
Mike McCarthy.
I
I mean,
honestly
that's just disappointing. I'm not even a Steelers fan, bro, and that's disappointing to me.
I like McCarthy. I would actually take Mike McDaniel. I think McDaniel actually could do a good job in like an
He's
offense.
interesting. He's
He's
interesting.
he's an offensive mind at least. I can see creative game plans and see the Dolphins scheme their way into victories. They also the
Yeah,
Dolphins played pretty well at the end of the season. They were out of it. They
that's
kind of were
true.
playing for his coach. So I would take McDaniel. He's just a little quirky. I
Yeah,
get it.
but you know what? Here's the thing. If you talk to an optimistic Steelers fan, you know what they're going to say? They're going to
Nothing. There's none
say,
exist.
"Okay, but let's just pretend I'm the optimistic Steelers fan. Okay? Let me play that role." So the Browns are the Browns. I know they manage to beat you once a year like Jacksonville manages to beat us, but they're still the Browns. They're not really a threat. The Bengals have an incompetent head coach, no defense, and a quarterback that can't stay healthy. And the Ravens just lost John Harbaugh, and Lamar is aging. So it's not like the conference is as scary as it was, say, 3 years ago. Honestly, the biggest offensive threat to me in the division is probably still the Bengals. If the Bengals can stay healthy on offense, they scare me more than the Ravens do. Because Derrick Henry's going to take a step back. He's aging. Lamar is still good, but as we saw last year, either he was super hurt the whole year and played through it, or he's aging. So the Bengals still scare me the most, but they don't have a defense. Like, if you can outscore Joe Burrow,
Uh,
you can beat them.
but my
Now,
whole
I mean, that's the
uh,
problem. You have to outscore Joe Burrow. I
yeah.
understand the
Wow. Good
conundrum.
luck.
But I mean, compared to what the division looked like 3 years ago, I feel like there's more hope for Steelers fans, looking at what's happened across the division than there was a few years ago.
But what at the end of the day, what does that all lead to? Just getting smoked in the foot in the wild card
Probably
round.
8-9 now.
But you're just getting. But again, even if all you say is true, that's been the past few years, and they just get smoked in the wild card round. It's not even the game's not even close. So again, we're just treading water, but we're getting worse and worse as a team because T.J. Watt's getting older, Jalen Ramsey's getting older, Rodgers.
Cam Hayward.
Cam Hayward. I don't know how. He probably has only like 1 year left at this
Yeah,
point.
he's probably almost done, if not
Like,
completely done at this
like
point.
Rodgers is probably if he comes back, it's only gonna be for 1 more year. I don't even think he's gonna come back because him and McCartney butted heads when he was in Green Bay. Again, it's a sense of just like with treading water, but now the ship is sinking.
But
So
hear me out. You have Will Howard.
anyway, back to the championship games. Actual good teams.
Oh man,
Um,
I understand, bro. I understand. At least you made the playoffs, dude. Didn't blow
uh,
a for sure one seed halfway
well,
through the season
oh
with your
yeah,
injured quarterback playing on a fractured leg.
we made the playoffs, but this is our first show since the NCAA football game. You finally got yourself, your team got a ring
Yes, I sure
after
did.
torn
Yes,
Achilles and
man.
heartbreaking losses all around.
Never in my life did I think I would see this. I'm not even lying when I said that. I mean, Indiana is a historically bad program. Like before this season, or before, I think it was before this season. It may have counted last year. It may have been like before the past few seasons. We were like the most losingest college football program in NCAA Division One history. Like, I don't think people understand the magnitude of
I
this
think they
victory.
said there's like a meme
It's
like
pretty crazy.
they had to go like 140-0 just to be 500.
I know, bro. I lost my voice pretty much. My throat hurt for like 5 days after that game because I yelled so loud. It was great. I bought so much merch, bro. It's gonna be great.
I'll say this.
When is this ever gonna happen again? I mean, I gotta take advantage while I have it,
I
man. I
was
mean,
I was surprised during the game how much because I knew like Mendoza was going to get hit because of that defensive line from Miami. I was
yeah.
surprised how well they were running on Miami's line though. That was something that was surprising me a bit because I
Indiana has good running backs. They're just underrated.
no, I give them credit, but Miami has two guys on the line that's going to play in the NFL, and they were hitting Mendoza a lot. So it was
That's
like
true. Ruben Bain just declared today.
yeah, so like I was surprised about that was the one thing, and I guess I wasn't that surprised that why am I blanking on Miami's quarterback's name? Wow, just Carson
Carson
Beck.
Beck.
I was surprised he just wasn't really able to do much that entire
Bro,
game.
I was not. He is not good.
He's like a number
Like,
5 or 6 draft prospect. Like, and I said, how?
the game was closer than I thought it would be, but even with it being closer than I thought it would be, Beck still was not good. I mean, that pass at the end of the game with the interception, that was horrible. That was a
Yeah,
terrible pass. I mean, he is probably a day 3 draft pick for someone who's desperate. If he goes
Pittsburgh.
higher than day 3, it is literally out of desperation because the only quarterbacks that really You could argue we'll get drafted in the first round. Obviously, Mendoza's going to go one to the Raiders. Never thought I would cheer for the Raiders, but here I am. I will cheer for Mendoza. I mean, I can't not. I mean,
No, I
and
get
then,
that.
you know, you have Ty Simpson, who arguably is not even a first
Mm,
round draft pick, but
that's
he's going to get
yeah,
drafted because people are desperate. And the
yeah.
other one is Chambliss, who might not even be in the draft because he's currently suing the NCAA to get another year of eligibility. So that does not leave very many pickings if you are a quarterback needy team and you are not the number one pick. So it's going to be an interesting draft, but yes, very happy. Lots of draft prospects, though. If you need pass rush, man, there are some good dudes coming out of Miami. Like I said, Ruben Bain, he's crazy, dude. He's going to be really good. He's probably going to end up on the Jets. So will he be that good? Who knows? Um, but no, it's going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see what the Giants do in the draft, especially
Hmm.
considering John Harbaugh got hired, which is very exciting if you're a Giants fan. I'm sure you know people who are Giants fans who
Yeah,
are just over the moon.
Matsu is
Yes.
so happy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're over the moon. So I'll be really interested to see what they do with that as well. Um, but
But
yeah, no, quarterback needy teams, they're in a tough place this year, dude. And there's a lot of them. Outside of the Raiders are probably like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, like holding on to their number one overall pick, being like my precious, because that thing's not going anywhere. They would
yeah.
have to be offered like 5 or 6 first round picks to move that, in my opinion.
Well, one team that was definitely a quarterback needy team was the Denver Broncos, as they fall 7-10 at home versus New England
Tough,
Patriots.
dude.
And all I was thinking, just like that was such. I kind of like the game because I like kind of the weather games. Because in the second half, it was just like a blizzard. Like they got
I
hit.
know
Them,
it went from not snowing to couldn't see the field.
and I think someone pointed out New England wore the white jerseys on purpose because they knew the snow was coming, and that's a very Belichick, Vrabel kind of mindset. Like, oh, they're gonna have trouble seeing us. We're gonna wear these all white jerseys for like.
That's a sleazy Patriots thing
That is
to
a
do, is
that
what
is
it
a
is.
smart Patriots thing. That's the
Sleazy Patriots thing.
that's the fun part of New England Patriots dynasty. The unfun parts are them winning all the time.
Did game where it was like we finally got out from under the thumb of Patrick Mahomes just to have another Patriots Super Bowl. You guys thought you escaped? No. Give
No.
me Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl 10 times out of 10. I would rather see Taylor Swift 100 times on TV than have to watch the Patriots win another Super Bowl. But let me just say the one pervasive thought I had about this game, if the Broncos have Bo Nix, they
They
win this
win.
game.
Yeah, they win.
For sure. Not an
Because
argument.
Stidham had, first of all, the Broncos win that game. And Stidham doesn't have the worst decision of his career of just like throwing a backwards pass when he's being rushed
That's like
late.
me and Madden, bro. I'm like, I can do it. She could not do
That
it.
was because that was the only touchdown they could score. Both these defenses were just killing each other throughout the game. I like their old defensive matchup. Stidham had a great first quarter. Everyone thought, "Oh my goodness, he's actually about to take off." And May clearly
The
looks like
touchdown. Yeah.
May is clearly in his first postseason because he has not looked spectacular passing the football, but he could move. May was making some great plays with his legs. Um,
That's
the,
what
the,
won them the game, in my opinion.
I think this the one big thing about they talk about with the game is early in the game when Sean Payton goes for it on fourth and short and misses it near like his goal line. That's I guess hindsight's 2020, but even watching the game, I was like, you probably want to take the points just because maybe he was confident because Stidham was doing so well at that point, but also I'm thinking he probably maybe take the points because this is going to be a low scoring game and the weather will definitely affect this game later on. So try to take as many points as you possibly can. But at the same time, if you go up 14-0 instead of 10-0, I'm not going to say that puts this game out of reach, but I don't think New England is able to come back against that defense and the weather and the home crowd by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And can we just kind of like take a second to resurrect the narrative around Drake May playing really good defenses for a second? Bro went 10 of 21 for 86 yards and took 5 sacks. Now, don't get me wrong, he had 10 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. That was the thing that bailed him out.
Yeah,
Honestly, that was probably the thing that won them the game. That was super impressive, especially
uh,
in the snow.
of
And I
course.
know they were playing in a weather game, but 10 of 21 for 86 yards. Like, I know they won the game, but like
Come on.
10 of 21 for 86 yards.
It's one of the weird things in
Come on
terms
now.
of May has not looked good, at least It's almost like the Mendoza game because Mendoza didn't look spectacular in the championship game, but when the plays mattered, when he needed to make the plays, he made the plays.
Yep,
May's essentially the same thing. He's not looking that great in the game, but when you need like what the two or three big plays from him, he makes those plays.
that's
So
true. But 10 of 21. It's like that meme, you know, the meme where it's like, I'm your captain now. It's like that meme is like, is this your MVP? 10 of
I
21 for 86 yards.
I
Is
honestly
this your MVP?
despite his loss, I still think Stafford, which I guess we can transition, I guess, a little bit into the NFC Championship game, which is the exact opposite of the AFC. This is just a shootout. This was just a 31-27 shootout. And the fact is, I think these were the two best teams in football. At least when Bo Nix went down, 'cause I think Denver was on equal pairing with them. But these were the two best teams in football.
I agree.
And it was just a great game. It literally all came down to one mistake, just one drop muff pump by the Rams that
Which they've
just
had special team problems all year. If you're a Rams fan, you know that this is not a one-off instance.
no, and then it just came at the worst possible time because as soon as he muffed that punt, the Seahawks took a two-score lead, scored a touchdown, two-score lead. And if you notice the rest of the game, they had Kyle Williams back there for the rest of the game. They just said, "Get off this field. We're playing a Pro Bowl running back there."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that, and also I have to say this. Wouldn't you have to give that offense like a lot of just
Bro
all
is
this?
an idiot.
That was one of the
He is
that was
stupid.
that was one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen. When it's they're up by I believe two scores at this point. They're about to put the game away because they just have a big third down defensive stop. It's 4th and 12, and he taunts the Rams sideline, gets
Where
a
Matthew Stafford is, by the way.
gets a not I was gonna say unnecessary weapons, but like excessive celebration or taunting penalty. Oh my goodness. The next play, Puka buns him deep for a touchdown.
It was poetic
And they
justice.
look to the sideline and three or four different Seahawks are just yelling at Woolen. They're just like, "What are you doing? If you're going to make a dumb play, you have to make a good play after. You can't get bunned
Yeah.
literally the next play."
Yeah, and Tom Brady on the broadcast, I think he was like, "Yeah, you don't really see that this often from this team of them not being united." And I'm like, "Well, I think that this is probably an instance, Tom, in which it's acceptable to not be united because
It-
that almost won the Rams the game."
yeah, that was just a that was I love that sequence. And
Yeah,
just so yeah, he's got lucky because Sam Darnold did not see any ghosts. There was no ghost seen from Sam Darnold. He was a ghost. He was Ghostbuster. I want to get that nickname off the ground. Sam Darnold Ghostbuster.
Ghostbuster. I mean, he
Yeah.
went 25-36 for 346 yards, three touchdowns against that defense.
JSN got a touchdown and was killing them. I like this game just
JSN with 153 yards against this defense,
because this really was just a spectacular offensive game between two teams that the Rams have struggled defensively at the end of the season, but they still generally seen as a top
especially
10
in the
defense.
secondary.
And Seattle's definitely a dominant defense. It didn't matter. It was like these quarterbacks were dialing it up. They were like, Kenneth Walker is now the main running back now that Charbonnet is done for the season. He was getting his carries. Kyron Williams was doing a good job out of the backfield catching it. I just love the game. Like Puka and JSN, the two best receivers, were playing like the two best receivers in football, and it just came down to the Rams couldn't get the ball back. Just Seattle was just like they got the ball, just like we're not giving it back. Like we're just going to put our clock. We're going to throw the football. Cup was still turned back the clock and had a solid game. Had made some big time
Against his
catches,
original team, I
and
might
like
add.
I wish Puka got out of bounds at that last pass because I wanted to see the Hail Mary attempt, but. I have this game is one of those things. No notes, no complaints. This was a game between the two best teams, and I think all it came down to one bad play and home field advantage.
Yeah, no, I agree. If they don't muff that punt, the Rams probably win this game if they get the ball back.
Yeah,
That's really all it comes down to. So it's really unfortunate that I mean, obviously a game is not determined by one play, but it's also ignorant to ignore the fact that it's heavily influenced by a single play, and this game
yeah.
definitely was. Um, yeah, no, I am of the opinion that both of these teams are better than the Patriots. I think that the Rams are better, and I think the Seahawks are a lot better. So that should give you an inkling into my Super Bowl prediction once we get to that point.
Oh,
But no, I mean, is this your MVP? Matt Stafford, 22 of 35, 374 yards, three touchdowns against arguably the best defense in football, along with the Texans and the Broncos. I mean, come on.
that's an MVP.
That's an MVP right there. And don't give me the, oh, well, the weather was just so much worse and if you're the MVP, you make it work.
I got
That's my
that.
opinion.
Like Drake May played nothing but snow. Was this snowing the Chargers game? Because it was snowing the Texans.
Well,
It
it
was,
didn't even start snowing in the Broncos game until like halfway through the third quarter.
no,
So the
definitely.
vast majority of that game, he did not play in a blizzard. So I don't want to hear the he played in bad weather. No, most of the game he did not. I don't want to hear it.
No. This is Jets fans. I don't know how Jets fans feel. Like, who do you want? You're not rooting for the Patriots, but you also have to think Sam Darnold, the guy that was supposed to be the savior for the Jets like a decade ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's looking. Who? What's worse? Is worse for a Jets fan, or is it worse for Vikings fans who let Sam Darnold go and
Let me tell
now
you, dude.
they couldn't make the
I
playoffs?
I was listening to WFAN this morning and they were having this exact discussion about who Sam Darnold, what team that had Sam Darnold is in the most pain right now. And a Jets fan who is like clearly biased. Obviously, it's the Jets because we drafted them. And the other guy was like, dude, we didn't have the infrastructure to develop him.
No,
Like,
you
it would
didn't.
have never happened. If anything, the team that has to be suffering just beyond measure right now has to be the Vikings. I mean, you have him, you mentor him, he does great. I know he plays bad in the playoffs. That's a
Not
side note.
anymore. Not
I know
anymore.
that he did with the Vikings, but he showed enough to bring him back. And instead, you go out and draft JJ McCarthy, who immediately gets hurt and probably is not all that good because really he was not a great draft prospect. I mean, you watch his film at Michigan, he made some good plays for sure, but the meme about him is that he was a handoff merchant. Okay, they go out, they draft him, they let Sam Darnold go, and then bro gets hurt and they're like throwing Carson Wentz out there and like all kinds of people, and it just goes terribly, which is really a shame if you're a Vikings fan because that team is good. Like outside of the quarterback, they have a good team.
That ruined my
Like their
season.
defense, really good.
That
You
just
have Justin Jefferson and Addison, who are one of the best receiver duos in football. You have a running game. I mean, your O line, you can always get better there. But outside of that, I mean,
oh man. Like
you just have to be hurting, dude, if you're a Vikings fan. I'm
I'm
sorry, man.
I'm playing because I drafted Justin Jefferson thinking if McCarthy's just average, he can make Justin go look good with an average quarterback. No, he was.
That's
I
how
did.
bad McCarthy was. Justin Jefferson was bad. That should tell you all you need to know, in my opinion.
But yeah, this has been who had New England and Seattle in Super Bowl.
Seattle doesn't surprise me. New England does to some
Like
degree, not like a lot, but
the Seattle really.
some.
Which I'm trying to think, which team would be more was if you told me like in September 1st, which team would be more surprising to see in Super Bowl? I would probably.
Probably the Seahawks because Sam Darnold is
I would say
leading
New
the
England.
team.
I would say New
Really?
England. I was just because and we're gonna talk
New
about
England was bad last year.
this more in our episode later this week, but going back to our predictions. But I didn't think New England. I thought New England was still it sounded kind of like the Panthers. They were like a year away. I feel like I felt like they got Vrabel in the building. May's gonna have a slightly better have a better season. The receiving core, the weapons got a little better. I didn't expect a Super Bowl run, and then
Yeah.
you can't even say at this point they had a weak schedule because they beat the Chargers, they beaten the Texans, and they beaten the Broncos, and they kind of dominate. Like they've almost lost it. The teams like they almost lost to the Texans because of May. It wasn't because what the team was doing, just because May was having a bad game. The Chargers game was kind of the same thing, just like they couldn't protect him, and the Broncos game was honestly a weather game. This Patriots team is kind of a reminiscent of that first Super Bowl run with Tom Brady, with this defense is just dominating. But May at this point was a much better quarterback than Tom Brady was his second year in New England.
I'm gonna comment on the no one can say the Patriots have played a weak schedule. The Patriots have played great defenses in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have not played great offenses. Defenses, yes. The
Mm,
Broncos without Bo Nix, not a good offense. I'm sorry. Justin Herbert without both of his tackles and no wide receiver one is a bad offense. I'm sorry. And the way CJ Stroud had been playing this year with no Nico Collins is a bad offense. They played excellent defenses. They did not really face a elite offensive opponent in the playoffs, in my opinion.
okay, I would. debate whether the Chargers is a good offense or not. I get the Texans without Nico Collins and the Bo Nix less Broncos. I think the Chargers at least is a good offense. I don't think it's a bad offense. I don't
It's
think
not a bad
I think
offense,
it's
but it's
slightly
not a
above average.
great
It's
offense.
above average. I'll give him that because I think the not having any old linemen and Herbert just getting destroyed that entire game. You show it's a flawed offense is the best way to play it. It's a very flawed
Yeah.
offense.
They were the best offense they faced, for sure, in my opinion. Now, if Bo Nix had played, that obviously would have been the best offense just because of him. But the Broncos offense has issues. I mean, Cortland Sutton is good. All their other receivers were hurt. Sutton has drop issues. Their starting running backs are hurt. I mean, their tight end is like and their O line is good. So, like, if you're looking at truly dominant offenses in football, it was not these three teams. Now, defenses, okay. But
Yeah.
offenses, no. Do we really think, based on how the Patriots have played in these three games, that if they got into a shootout with like the Joe Burrow led Bengals or a Sam Darnold led Vikings team, that they would have beaten them based on these performances? I don't think so. I mean, really looking at the way that the Patriots offense has played across these three games, it has not been particularly impressive. I mean, it just
That's
that's why I'm so intrigued for the Super Bowl, and we'll get into that more. But it'll be exciting. I just respect to the Patriots because they're obviously a good team. I mean, they rebuilt
yeah.
in literally one season, so you can't take that away from them. But I'm just saying their offensive performances have left a lot to be desired, and they are mostly healthy. Like this is the offense that they're running out, basically. So,
All I say is it sounds like Broncos, AJ Brown, maybe.
hey, that would be a fire fantasy pick if he went there. You know Sean Payton would get the best out of him. And you know he'd yell right back at him. He'd get in his face. He'd be like, "Sir, I'm gonna need you to
So
not do that."
it's just like Sirianni. It's just
Yeah, but
a more offensive
he
minded
demands more
Sirianni.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Payton's just scarier and has more of a pedigree, in my opinion. But
I say I give credit to both McVay, I give credit to Payton, two coaches I wish would go to Pittsburgh, but never happening.
sure
Uh,
wish we would have hired Mike Vrabel. That would have been great. But did that happen? No, no. We had to stick
that's
with other people.
I guess that's another team that's also hating the Super Bowl. Just Tennessee's just look at them like you gotta be kidding.
Tennessee fans are probably crying in the club, bro.
We have to put that poll. Who's in more pain? Tennessee fans watching Babel or Vikings fans watching Darnold?
I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be a tight.
Yeah, because Jets fans probably number one no matter what. Because like we can't root for anyone.
That's
But
true.
but
Honestly, if we were to vote in that poll right now, I would probably still take the Vikings because the quarterback is just so important. And you had him, and then he was gone. I think, kind of like with Mike Tomlin, Vrabel's time in Tennessee was kind of coming to a close. Like they just
mm,
kind of needed a new voice, and he was scapegoated, which was stupid. He should have
yeah,
never been fired, but he was because they're stupid. And look where it got them. Now they have who's their head coach now? Do they even have a head coach yet? I don't even know.
that's a good question. Who cares about Titans football? Well, we have a podcast. Uh, but where it got us is a Super Bowl rematch, Seattle versus Patriots, and where it's going to get us into, I guess, a week of looking back at our predictions, looking back at the season, and looking ahead to the big game in 2 weeks. Chelsea, tell us where you can find us, where you can follow us for all of our information for the next few weeks.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in on Thursday where we will have our next episode. In the meantime, follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Launch Codes Football, on X at Launch Codes FB. And if you're interested in joining our Chat BCC chat room, hit us up on one of our socials or text us and we can get you guys a link. It'll be a lot of fun in there as we head into the Super Bowl. So I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel.
and we will see you on Thursday.
In Seattle, if you throw it at the 1 yard line, I swear to God. Bye.